my music.
Okay, we are live on Facebook and YouTube for our first Weird Wednesday.
And we're on Instagram.
Sweet.
I'm not anywhere yet. There I am.
And we got a first wave.
Hi. That's funny. When I say hi to people, especially like new people that I've never met before, remember in the Heath Ledger Joker, when he goes over to Two-Face and he pulls the wig off in the nurse's outfit and he goes, hi. That's what I feel like I look like when I do that.
Hi.
I hope I don't, but that's what I feel like I look like.
Jason's on with us.
Is he now?
He's the only one.
I have no commentary.
We can go home now.
All right, bye.
Bye. Bye.
There you go.
I think we have introduced a little chaos.
All it takes is a little push. Hell no, I'll saunter right over that line. It's crazy.
Well, Jason is the only one with us.
Is he now? What? Hey, look.
Hi, Jason. Everybody's watching somebody else tonight.
Well, it says 6 viewers, so unless the 6 viewers is just us.
I think it is just us.
Wow.
I will do the baby Moroccan dance.
I was trying to see that.
You don't have to pay to see my Moroccan little dance.
My mini Moroccan dance. Oh, Stephen Michael Tolpez joined us.
Gotta put my Moroccans away.
Real people are
real
watching.
people are on. Can't dance the little baby Moroccan dance. Greg Butler is with us. So we're just loading up. People are coming home. We're a little crazy. Tonight is our first. It's either going to be called Weird Wednesdays or Curious Wednesdays. We're not quite sure which way it's going to go. Maybe we'll leave it up to you guys. Hi, Greg. How are you? Ryan Starr is with us. And Greg Butler is the cool Joker.
Thanks. We'll tell the story of the cool Joker later.
Yes, we have lots. This is, maybe tonight is cool night. Wednesday night cool night. With the cool kids. Yeah, the nerds can finally be the cool kids on Wednesday night. But we're not cool enough to be the cool kids on Friday night.
So let me tell you about the D&D character I created last week.
That's right. Zia now has a Dungeons and Dragons character named
Periwinkle.
Periwinkle. Okay.
Wink for short. And she's a bugbear.
And a bugbear.
Mm.
I don't know if this is the age bracket of Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
I don't think there is an age bracket.
It's a little
for Dungeons
older
and
than me.
Dragons.
Well, no, Dungeons and Dragons. I remember when. Here we go. I'm going to embarrass people now. My older brothers are going to be sold down the river right now. I remember when, like, Chaikin and all those guys would go play Dungeons and Dragons somewhere.
Really?
And it always sounded like it was a game that was played on 8 different levels.
Well, kind of, sort of. You remember those chapter books that we used to have?
Yeah.
Like you would get to the end of the chapter, and then you would have to pick which fork in the road you took, and you go to. It's kind of like that.
Right.
That's what the dungeon master does. He comes up with the story,
right? But
and then you got to come up with the options, and then you got to play.
And Starlin and Eloise and those guys used to all go play.
Well, I would tell you, all of those guys would be so jealous of my character because Jade. All right, so Jade decided that I had to do a D&D character. So he's sitting there, and Jade pulls up this this online like virtual dice because I don't have dice, and Jade didn't have her dice with her. So I did the spinner. and nothing that I did was under 13. So I have like this super powered bugbear with like
Kirby's watching.
extra powers. Who is?
Michael Kirby. And
Hi, Michael
Justin
Kirby.
Bernstein.
So it's like this 6'5" werewolfy looking,
Well, you have to do a
ogre
print
looking monster.
And next Wednesday you can show
I will
us
show.
your
I will show
D&D
you my
character.
bugbear. But
So do any of you guys play D&D?
I will also share the stats on this character, and I also had to come up with a backstory for the character, which I'm kind of loving the backstory. It's so chaotic.
Michael Kirby
and everywhere.
says he's ready for Weird Wild Wednesday.
Yay!
We didn't say it was going to be wild.
We're usually pretty untamed here.
All right. So has anyone out there in the world played D&D?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Jim Hackett is with us. So we're just loading up, guys. We're going to start the show in a minute here. We'll get moving.
As much as the Dungeons and Dragons is the thing, but when they live act the Dungeons and Dragons, that's when you have to step back and go.
Yeah, I don't know if the guys used to live act, but they used to.
Yeah,
play
they build the costumes.
They always made it.
They go out to the park and they act it out.
I don't think the guys did that.
LARPing, yes.
LARPing, right. I always wanted to try LARPing.
There's a part of me that does want to full latex do the makeup and everything.
You need to go home. All right, I got 17 supposedly on Facebook. Are you guys feeling good about your numbers over there, or you want to wait? What do you think?
I got 2 on Insta.
Ooh. A whopping 2.
A big 2. Andrea Durand is with us. Hi, Andrea. Do you play D&D? Bet you Andrea's played D&D.
Let's see if I can see how many people. Okay, we got 4 watching on YouTube, I think. Yes.
Aaron is in. Hi, good evening.
Hi, Aaron.
Aaron, this is like dumb night Wednesday night. You're too smart to be watching tonight. Because tonight we've changed our Wednesday. See, she doesn't play either. She never has. Trying to figure out what age bracket played D&D. Well, it also was a boy thing for a long time.
I could see Sarah Snyder. I would ask Sarah Snyder. I could see her.
Okay. So, D&D was a guy thing for a while.
It was
then girls got into it. But girls got into it much later.
Oh, Kirby used to play D&D way back in the 20th century.
Right. There you go. Guy.
So what kind of creature were you? Were you like elf, bugbear, goblin?
They probably have other things.
No, they're all pretty consistent. I mean, there might be new ones, but the original will still be there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm thinking either sorcerer or wizard, something like that.
All right, so this is our first show, which because of the storm yesterday, everybody left here early last night. So I'm not as really put together as I wanted to be tonight. So I promise next week we'll be a little bit more together, but you'll get a sense of it. He was a halfling thief.
Okay, half and half what? I need to know what the halves were.
All right, we're all going to learn how to play Dungeons and Dragons by the end of the year.
I'm out.
You're out? Uh-oh.
Jade got me excited about it.
All right.
Because I just enjoyed making the character.
I know. So what we're going to do tonight is we got some weird things here. We have some art stuff here that's normal stuff. We just have a mishmash of lots of different types of things. I've enjoyed the fights that go on, usually on Neil Adams' appreciation page, where everybody knows everything. And I'm like, oh, but I can prove you wrong, because that's my job in life, is to prove everybody wrong. So I did notice, I'm going to start my show with my first weird, curious thing, because we're caught between, should we call it Weird Wednesday or Curious Wednesday? So I noticed that there was how old was Neil when he signed the Ben Casey contract?
There's been much debate.
There has been debate, because Neil has told stories about how, when he was approached, that he felt he wasn't of age that he could sign a contract. And yet then people said, no, he was 21. He did sign the contract. So did Neil sign the contract? Did his mother have to sign the contract? who signed the contract. Was he 18? Was he 19? Was he 20 or 21? And Ed Maslow came out and he said, well, he wasn't 18 because Neil was in school when Neil was 18.
Yep.
Because Ed Maslow went to school with Neil, so he is correct. And then James Rosen came in with no, Neil thought he was going to have his mother do it, but in the end, he signed it. So, and I wrote, and then James said, Chris, am I right? And I had to say, yes, you're right. But what I did do, and I'm only going to show this like right now, and then you're never going to see it again, is I dug out Neil's Ben Casey contract. And the reason why I pulled out Neil Adams' Ben Casey contract, and it was that easy to find, is because this is my sacred Rosetta Stone of contracts. This is the best contract I have ever read in my life in all the years that I have repped Neil Adams, which has been many years.
This is
many contracts.
That all other contracts have been compared to.
Right, and many contracts we have done together, and this is still the best. It is on typewriter, paper.
Hold still.
It has a blue cover. Very professional. It has many pages. This thing is like a graphic novel. And so it's got 21 pages of the Ben Casey contract. And here we go, guys. It was signed.
I'm sorry, guys. My sister will not hold it still long enough for me to...
I don't want them to see it.
Okay. Well, they're not going to because...
It was signed on, drum roll, please, September 17th of 1962, which makes Neil Adams, calculations, please, 21 years old. And unfortunately, I have the copy that is obviously Neil's copy because my copy is not signed by Neil. But it would have been Neil. It does not have Lillian Adams, which would have been his mom. So Neil ended up signing it. So
Andrea, what's your choice of music for this?
There you go. There is the official answer to the official argument that was kind of happening. That wasn't even really an argument. On Neil Adams' appreciation page.
There was a debate.
A debate. So we have shown the evidence. The court says Neil was 21. So there you go.
Hello, Randy.
Rest our case on that one. So now you guys this week are going to have to come up with another thing, and then I will dig up the evidence and we will talk about it next week. And we'll get through the life of Neil Adams together, which I thought was kind of fun because you get little pieces of history.
Mm.
Okay, so what am I doing next? We do have Peter Stone is going to be on. Peter's doing Peter. Why am I calling you Peter?
Pete.
Petey, Pedro. As
well,
I love
when it comes to his books and stuff, it's Peter Bowditch Stone.
Peter Bowditch. No, it's Pedro.
Peter B. Stone.
Say my middle name.
It's on your book.
Yes.
Is it on your book?
It is.
Oh, interesting. So Pete is actually going to do a part tonight as well. He's going to teach us something, I think. And and we have some weird stuff. So I'm going to start with some prints because we kind of let people still roll in. So we're going to do some prints. Then Pete's going to talk. And then we'll do some art. And we'll do some statues. And I got some weird art that I found. And it's just lots of different pieces. But the beginning section will be kind of normal to what we kind of do.
Hey, Greg.
So here we go for our first Wednesday crazy night. Because this is really crazy. I'm going to start with Wonder Woman. The Grand Swami is going to be on. Is that you now?
I guess.
Well, you know how much they love when Pete comes on, though.
I know. Everybody's like that. Everybody's like, oh, nice to see you, Chris. Where's Pete?
Yeah. No, I know. It's like, here's me and you jumping through hoops in our little dog and pony show. And all Pete has to do is, turn up and tell a couple of stories.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's put it in perspective. I had to sit in that room with your dad for years.
That's
You
true.
wanna
You
do
paid.
that.
You paid the price.
Excuse me, you want to know how many car rides I've been on with Dad talking about planets?
Do you know
That's
how
planets.
many pieces of garbage he threw it at the garbage can?
And
Accidentally-
that kid in the back.
And accidentally hit me on purpose?
Yeah, I don't think that was an
I mean,
accident.
Pete wins hands down with the football game. I
And
mean,
how many times did Chris throw books at him, roll her eyes, and go, "You got to translate this," right?
Wir stopp dies.
No, it was something.
That's what it
But
was.
that's where
No,
you're
but there was one with
training
an
in
alligator.
Ukraine.
The alligator of something.
You're thinking of something else.
You had to do that one too. So anyway, here we go. Wonder Woman, 13 by 19. This is 100 to buy. It is no, it's not. It's a giclée of the piece, and it is signed by Neil for
And it's-
100. And she is a great piece. And I want to say hello to all the new people that have been kind of coming on the show with us. And hello to all the people that have been with us. Which, do you know how many years it's been, Zeke? Don't answer that.
I
It's really
don't know if
kinda
I
scary.
want to answer
It's
that.
becoming scary. Because COVID hit in 2020, and we were doing it before COVID.
Damn.
Yeah. Like, holy crap. I should have residuals by now. Okay, this is smaller.
Phil says he tells good stories too. You all tell good stories. Pete is one of those guests who appears on the talk show multiple times.
He's going to have his own segment.
I have a green jacket.
Right, he's a green jacket. So this is 1117. This is the Amazing Spider-Man. This is based on the variant that Neil did for a Comic-Con in Canada. And this is $100 to clean. And this is one of the 2 times that Neil has done a Spider-Man cover. So a rare piece, a weird piece.
Hey,
Why
Happy
is
Powers.
Spider-Man playing hockey?
And why is Fantastic Four not playing hockey?
And why is Neil drawing Spider-Man? He never draws Spider-Man.
Almost never.
What was with the D&D questions? Zia has stepped into the world of D&D. That's what started it. So she was talking about her character. I didn't. You know what? I didn't get the wrong file.
Did you grab the wrong file, Chris?
Yes.
Is there a right file we need to go grab for you?
Yes. No, I'll go get it.
All right.
That's fine. I will be right back, guys. Sorry, I got the wrong file.
Okay. In the meantime, I will show some stuff in the background.
Tell us about the Joker, Zeke.
I will talk about the Joker painting while we listen to that. This is a painting. I don't know how many of you have heard the story of this painting. Dad had done, after he went down with COVID and was in recovery, he did this really crazy sketch drawing of the Joker and colored it really wild and crazy. And I had the inspiration of, Dad, why don't we do this painting together? So with Dad's pencils, I started working on this, and it being the Joker, I decided I got to work on the mouth first. If I don't get the mouth right, none of the rest of it is going to work out. So I worked on the mouth first, and I was working on it at Dad's apartment, at Dad's desk, Dad's drawing desk. And I was getting close to being finished with the mouth, and I sort of turned it towards Chris, who was sitting next to Dad. And Chris says, you should show Dad. So bring it over and show Dad. And he points to it, and he turns to Chris and says, "That's my kid. My kid did that." I was like, "Dad, you can't say stuff like that. You're going to make me cry." So unfortunately, Dad, that was about a week before Dad's last trip to the hospital, which he did not come back from. But he did get to see some of the progress on this, and he was very happy with it. And sometime after Dad passed, I hit a roadblock, and I didn't know what direction to go in. And Chris, in her infinite wisdom, got me on the phone with Bill Sienkiewicz. And among the many things I asked him, this is why I'm not allowed to have Bill Sienkiewicz's phone number, by the way, is that I would call him and ask him a hell of a lot of questions. So Chris has to do the phone calling for me if she deems my questions worthy of calling Bill. But among the things I asked him, I said, do you ever, when you're working on something, hit a point where like you feel like every brush stroke that you're about to do is going to ruin the whole thing? And thankfully enough, he goes, oh yeah, absolutely, all the time. So I felt a lot better about my mental status at the time.
Well, that was your wood pile.
It's my other part.
It's not
And
good
and Bill helped me get the gumption up to finish it, with Chris goading me along the whole way.
And walking for the cameras.
If Chris doesn't poke me, I don't get anything done. And that is the story of the Joker. And I actually do still have the 2 flowers that I had bought at Michael's that I used as reference for this piece.
That's the pile that's somewhere here. I had them ready.
They were on the table.
I think I can focus.
I know, but this is not the pumpkin.
It's not like on top of some of them.
I don't think so.
There we go.
These are like all the ones I didn't want to do.
I'll take this $100 to clean off.
Alright, I'll work with them. It's okay.
Okay.
Blah. Sorry, guys. Alright, so where was Zia with her Joker?
I finished telling the story.
Okay, so Zia is selling her Joker. Did you say that?
I am selling my Joker. He can come either with or without the lovely frame that I put behind him for $6,000.
So Zia is selling the Joker. What is the size of the Joker?
I knew that was coming, and I realized I hadn't measured him.
I have my handy duty.
Just round it out to the nearest 10 because the frame covers up some of the actual
Right,
painting.
so I would say it's 24 by 19 to 20.
Okay, so 20 by 24, something like that.
Right.
Felix says, good story. I like that Bill is a hero figure. He kind of is, yeah.
Bill is the best.
Yeah.
He really is.
Another reason why Chris doesn't let me have his phone number. Because he would stop taking my calls.
These are not nice. Very stupid things. These are the ones I didn't want to do.
Well, that's weird.
I know, and I don't know where the ones are that I did want to do one. Because these are all the ones I put to the side that I didn't want to do.
You want I ought to take a look?
I already went to one.
I know you did, but sometimes a fresh pair of eyes. Did you look under the black cloth that we put on the...
Mm-hmm. Today is just knocking me down. Yeah, these are all the dead ones. It is a weird one. So I've never had this one.
There's a black hole in continuity that has eaten Chris's pile.
Yeah, because this is kind of my like dead pile. And it has a little Superman this size in it in the group. It's an Action comic, little one. That's how you will know you'll find it. You've got the right one. All right, well, we're gonna hop Prince for now. This is a weird show. Sorry, guys. You found it?
I told you, sometimes a fresh pair of eyes.
Where was that? That might be it.
I think this is.
You think that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
The Superman prints in it.
Oh, this looks like weird. Yeah, this is it.
So
Okay.
where was it?
It was on my cutting board table with bubble wrap over it.
Oh, see, I went over there, but I thought those were the ones that were waiting to go out to people, so I didn't look. So I thought those were bought ones. All right, we're back in business. We were out of business. We're back in business. Put these down there, and Pete will step on it and slip and slide. Okay. I found one more of these signed, and this is a great print. It is not my name tonight.
You put it down there.
My plastic is down here. Okay. Can we start the show over again?
Start again.
And action.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to start with one of my favorite covers that Neil did, which was this Batman piece for Dark Knight 3, which was a variant cover on a comic book. Dark Knight 3, obviously. And this is 100 to buy. This is on the Good Cougar paper that Neil draws on. And I just love this one because I like that the swirl of his cape carries up to the light. It's the
You're
same.
correct, Happy Towers, Corey Color.
And it is Corey colored, yes. But the swirl of the cape carries upward.
Into the swirl of the clouds.
Right. And you never really see as dramatic an upshot as you do on this piece. So compositionally, I love it because it's a composition you don't see. And it is signed by Neil, which is really what the price of this piece is Neil's signature. So this is $100 to buy. And the rules of the road are that if you would like to purchase something, you write that in the comment bars. We read it, obviously, the way we've been reading. We will acknowledge it. We will ask you to direct message us your personal information if you are buying something from us. And we will ask you for your name, where we're shipping to, and an email for us to be able to send you a invoice for tonight. And that we invoice the following morning. And that's about it. It's pretty easy.
And for those of you on YouTube, if you want to, since we don't have direct message on YouTube, you can either go to this website, neiladamsstore.com, and contact us through there. Or if you choose, you can go to our Facebook, which the Facebook is Neil Adams Comic Artist. Or you can choose to do our YouTube, which is at neiladams. Which is .com.
Correct. Okay, I'm going to move on. We talked about Spider-Man already.
Yes, you did.
Okay, I have the Detective 1000 cover, 13 by 19. This is a giclée, which means it's on that nice fancy paper we have. This is, Neil took the Detective 1000 cover, the swamp cover, which he did in a wash, a gray wash, and then he did it in paint. So this is the finished piece that's actually in paint and not the gray wash with ink.
Which, if for those of you who actually watched the video, or anybody who missed the video, when Dad colored this, he almost colored it in layers of CMYK. It's like he put his yellow, after he did the blacks, he did these yellows, or he did his blues, and then added some magenta and cleaned it up from there.
Very cool. So this is 100 to buy. This is, like I said, the Detective 1000. This is based on after we printed it as the black and white wash, then Neil went in and painted the cover, which is what this is. And it comes signed by Neil. Just figure everything comes signed by Neil. That I'm going to show right now. Because I keep forgetting that part. Okay, this is, I think, 11 by 14.
What's it?
This is my little action comic. It's really cute. It's signed by Neil. As much as I know everybody loves Kryptonite, Nevermore, I like this one. This one is signed by Neil at the bottom. Like I said, it's probably the smallest print I've ever seen us have. It's very cute. It's like a baby. It's a baby print.
Very frameable.
Very frameable. 11 by 14. Signed by Neil. This is 100 to buy. If nobody buys it, I'm taking it. So, $100 for the Action Comic cover by Neil. It is a signed piece by Neil at the bottom. James Hostler is on with us. I don't think Happy has that one. I think you are right. And I'm sure one of the parental units colored it. I don't know which one though. Okay, the
That
next
looks digital. I'd say mom.
probably. This is 13 by 19. This is a Neil Adams fave. This was the test of whether a red background with red moons work. And since Zia did the coloring on this, basically she was like, "Are you kidding me, Dad?"
Yeah, kind of. It's like, no, really? You want me to put red back? Like red? And he's like, yeah, go for it.
So this is the piece. It is 13 by 19. Batman, once again, in a swamp of some sort. It is 13 by 19. It is on the good not cougar paper. It's on the good watercolor can't talk to my paper.
Watercolor, acid-free.
Giclée, thank you, paper. And we call this one Batman with a red moon. I still have Storm, which I referred to as Phoenix last week. 13 by 19, signed by Neil. This is $100 to claim.
Yep.
And she is on the cougar paper that Neil draws on. 13 by 19 is her size.
Wasn't that from Detective Comics?
What?
This one. The swampy one.
The swamp thing is kind of based loosely on an old story that he did.
But it was in Detective Comics. It
Yes,
wasn't Batman.
it was in Detective.
Because the Detective Comics did get a little swampy, were more detective-y than the regular Batmans.
Yes. It was early Neil Adams.
Yeah.
That early Neil Adams, not the older Neil Adams. Dad is like the expanding planet.
Yeah. It's not expanding, it's growing.
It's growing. Great. 13 by 19. This is obviously the Superman Nevermore famous cover. This is signed by Neil at the bottom, and this is on the cougar paper.
Kelly Rusk says Detective 405.
Thank you, Kelly.
There's a signature there at the bottom left.
For those of you who came late, who were being, what age was Neil Adams when he signed the Ben Casey deal? In the front end of our video, it will show you the actual contract.
And Chris explains why she still has it.
So if you're interested, go backwards in time here. Okay, next one up is the Batman Ninja Turtle crossover. This is another painted piece by Neil, which obviously has a Frazetta taste to it. It is signed by Neil in green at the bottom. Which this cover grows and grows and grows on me. This is painted by Neil, so this is a complete Neil Adams from start to finish cover. I thought he was going to kill me when I brought this in as a job, because I didn't think that Dad would want to do Ninja Turtles.
Well, sometimes when you get thrown a curveball like that, it's fun because it's out of your norm.
And then he came back with a painted cover. Okay, this is one of the Sal Bertuccio
Portfolio?
Is that what it is? It is a Sal Bertuccio portfolio. It is one of the original ancient ones. I don't know what number it is. It has
It doesn't say on the plates.
3, 4. It has 4 plates in it. This is the original one. It is signed by Neil. This is an ancient, because these were done when I first started up at Continuity, so I would say late 70s, early 80s.
It says 78 on there.
Yeah. I have the 9.9, but it's a different Ninja Turtle cover, which we'll do that after we're done with Tarzan. So Tarzan is 300 to buy. 300 to
Oh,
buy.
jeez. Sorry.
It's okay. And it does have all 4 plates in it. I will get them out of the sleeve. I will say the sleeve is a little ding-dangy, there, just from time of being in boxes of Continuity. Was there a Detective 405 part I missed? Now, we were referencing the Red Sky Swamp Batman, yes. So these are basically the Tarzan Valentine book covers. These are painted by Neil. And I think in this case, Neil only signed the cover of the portfolio, which I just showed, the white cover. It's the Tarzan on the horse painting. It is the lion on a stick painting.
Lion sickle.
Lion sickle.
Yeah, these prints. These were printed in '78, Ted.
So these are very vintagey.
Yeah, this is a Sal Cortuccio portfolio.
Of the paintings, this one's my favorite.
Right, and this is the leopard.
It's not Leopard Man.
It's not Leopard Man, but it does have I don't know what we call this.
I
one.
don't know what this one is called either, but
Right.
this one is my favorite.
It's called Plate 1.
Yeah, so there's 4 plates in this portfolio. I think Jason came across this in our drawers and said, maybe you want to sell this, Chris. Again, the cover looks like that.
And the cover has a signature on it.
Yeah. And what's really funny is that it actually has, it was printed in '78, and Sal Cortuccio was on 45th Street in Brooklyn when he made these.
Ted Keaton is claiming the Tarzan set. Thank you, Ted.
Cool.
Nice. See, Jason was right. Because I said, do you think somebody's really going to want that? Okay, so we have Ted Keaton on that.
Yep.
Alright.
And Andrea Duran is asking, this is a completely different series from the ABC portfolios?
Yeah, this is different. I mean, it may have, I don't know what's in the ABC plates, but this is a different, because those came in envelopes that were
right. 11 by 14.
11 by 14. This is a different animal.
Yep.
So, okay, Ted Keaton, what do I do? This.
Are you okay today, Chris?
My brain is just in
I know
100 different places and it hasn't settled yet, which is bad because it's like 8:15 and it hasn't settled. And
Well,
then
you've had a big couple of days, Chris.
we brought back this
isn't-
little bomb.
Yeah, this isn't going to boom.
This
This is spring loaded.
Yay! So thank you, Ted, for bringing back the bomb for tonight. Because because then I can say at least we sold one thing on my crazy show. Okay, so somebody asked me out there, do I have the 9.9 Ninja Turtle? The 9.9 CGC yellow label is a different drawing than the one I showed you, the painting.
Yeah, this one does not have Batman in there.
Right. So it's a different piece. So the price on 9.9
It is
is
$1,500.
$1,500 for this yellow label.
And this is signed by both Neil Adams and Kevin Eastman.
There you go. So it's like doubly cool because to get Kevin Eastman and Neil Adams to sign the same comic book is actually pretty amazing.
And it'd still be a
Because
9.9.
most comics of Dad's only have one signature on them. Like everything that has flown by me has always just had Dad's signature. This actually has two signatures. And usually people that never gained signatures with Dad.
Chris has had a week, and Chris almost had to swim home last night.
And Felix, Ted just bought a Tarzan portfolio.
Portfolio. Right. Okay, so I'm going to put my 9.9 Ninja Turtle away.
You're welcome, Ted.
Okay,
Ryan
so are
wants to
you
know
guys in
if
the
we-
mood for Pete, or do you guys want to do more prints?
Ryan wants to know if we found any more toys related to Neil's work that he signed.
I didn't know I had to look for more toys. Well, since you brought up toys, I'm going to do one more thing, and then I'm going to bring Pete on, just because I owe it to Pete to bring him on.
Well, we did keep him here
We
instead of
did
letting
keep
him
him
go
in here,
go
right?
home, so.
Exactly. Okay, here we go.
He's a kept man.
I don't have a toy.
Oh, here we go. Did Jason give you a number on this?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Okay, this is a really, really nice sculpture. Comes in a really, really nice box. And since we just were talking Tarzan as well as toys, I will spin that around. Actually, what I should have asked Jason for is this little spinny thing.
Yeah. And if you have like a something white you can put behind them to.
Maybe the back of one of the prints.
Yeah, maybe this.
There you go.
Yeah. There
Quite
you
thick.
go. Gorgeous.
Jason gave me notes.
Good. Lord knows we need them.
Okay, so this statue, which I will spin around for you guys, is called the Going Ape statue. Now, this is based on a Neil Adams drawing.
Yep.
Jason did. Okay, Going Ape is the first statue ever done based on Neil's art, sculpted by Jason, Zia, and Chris's brother, child of Neil Adams. Jason did it originally as a model kit, but was able to work out a deal with Real Art Studios to do the painted statue. So this is not a type of statue where you have to put it together. It's not a statue that you buy and then you have to paint it, which I know I personally have bought stuff like that. These had been in storage because the owner of Real Art Studios died, but Jason was eventually able to have them sent to him. Each was signed by both Neil and Jason when it was manufactured. So they have the signatures on the bottom, which I'll show to you in a minute. They say limited to 750, but only 500 of these were made. They are normally 300 to buy, but for tonight, we're going to sell this for 200, which I will say is a great price for this.
Pete's done.
What is the sculpture made from, plastic or plaster?
Jason, if you're watching, you're gonna have to answer that one.
Yeah, because I don't know that one. I'm going to show you guys not only the statue cube. If I spin it all the way around yet?
No, you've only gotten
Halfway.
halfway. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's okay because I pan up.
but-
longer.
I mean, this is a statue that Neil, obviously approved, which is never easy. It's very detailed. Neil liked this one. Neil had one made in bronze for himself. that he kept in the studio.
You okay?
I think so.
He's just sneezing.
Are you done?
Oh, yes, Petey's cry for attention. You'll get your attention, I promise.
So,
Okay, now you've gone all the way
okay,
around.
I've gone all the way around. Let me find a good pose. I don't think this is plastic
No, I don't.
because I
think so.
believe these do get poured. So I believe these are plaster and not plastic.
I think we lost Jason.
They're not because it is I can tell you from the paint job on this is not a plastic one.
Yeah, it doesn't look plastic.
And these do break pretty easy.
Can you show the bottom with the signatures?
Yes, I'm going to show the bottom with the signature.
Jason said resin.
Resin
There
is
you
the
go.
answer Jason came up
There.
with. Do I have it the right way?
Johnson. Yep, you're fine.
Okay. So the signatures are down here somewhere.
Signed by Neil and Spider.
Oh, there it is.
If you want it straight, go counterclockwise to you.
This way?
Counterclockwise.
There you go.
Oh, no, actually.
Keep going. Keep going. There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Perfect.
Okay.
So this is number 299 of 750.
But Jason said really there were only 500 of them made.
Correct.
What's the price tag on it?
200.
200. And these come in this cool box,
Which shows Neil's art on the front.
which
Your side, Chris. There you go.
has Neil's art.
So that was the original drawing that the statue was based on.
So it is a nice little family affair statue here for $200. Comes signed by Neil and Jason, which
Pete Monster is asking, got any Conan signed statues?
did I become a statue place overnight, guys? I don't know if
Jason
Jason have a does Jason. Hey Jason, do you have a Conan statue? We just grabbed this tonight. Jason had it in the studio. And if you guys are interested in stuff like this, I'll definitely have Jason bring in more of his stuff. I mean, Jason does great work. So I will find out if Jason has a Conan. I can show it next Wednesday night. Maybe Jason will be able to bring one in if they're not here in the studio. And you guys can check that out. So I am going to bring Pete on. Are you ready? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Pete just had a sneezing fit. So.
Okay, so Jason does have a Conan available and might be able to do a cold cast bronze. So I guess what we can do is next Weird Wednesday we can have his Conan. Maybe.
Where's his music?
Where's
I was
Petey's
waiting
music?
for her to finish
Sorry, go ahead.
her.
I beg your pardon.
We're bringing on Peter
All
Stone.
right. You have to move your phone.
I'll move my phone. I'm going to move all my stuff.
Right.
Move statues.
I have,
Oh, you have your own?
I have a whole setup here.
Wow, this is like a book report by Peter Stone.
This is. It kind of is.
It's like
Kind of
working
is.
with professionals.
And we call this You May Have Missed This with
Right.
Pete Stone.
That's right.
He might be better at this than me.
I might be. You never know.
I don't think it's his first rodeo.
Hey, this man has been on QVC
That's right.
selling Death Watch comic books,
Trading card.
trading cards. Excuse me.
Pete, swap the two on the end if the blue one is one. There you go.
Okay.
He did it correctly.
Okay. So we're trying something new. We're gonna do. You may have.
Fuck up. 'Cause my voice
Yeah, you
is
have
over
to-
there.
you have
gotta
to
be
be-
really loud.
All right.
Project.
Project.
Okay. So just so this is called. So you may have missed this, and I'm gonna focus on some of these books that are really well drawn, that Neil and I both really loved, but a lot of people didn't really get a chance to see. A lot of them have not been reprinted. I had next week. I'm going to do something I think is going to be really kind of special. But
Actually, the
starting-
thing you're coming with next week is what convinced me that you should do this.
Right. But I couldn't
We couldn't
find
pull
it.
together.
I had too many comic boxes, and I had to go through all the comic boxes, and I hadn't found it yet. So,
Can you do me one big favor for the camera?
sure.
Just put the Predators more like in front of your
I will
computer,
move.
Sure.
because
I will
I'm
move.
dealing with an upright camera lens.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can't go too wide.
You can put like your laptop behind the comics.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Perfect.
Okay. So, this first outing here, which we're going to start with, is Predator from Dark Horse. Back when Mike Richardson was really running Dark Horse, and they were doing a lot of interesting stuff. This was 1998 when this came out. Gene Colan was had left DC for whatever reason, I don't know, but he had gone to Dark Horse and did a couple series for them. And this was one of the ones that I saw and was like, I gotta get this. This is great. Because at the same time, I had Dan Barry, who was pushing me very hard to say, I want to work at Dark Horse and I want to do a Predator story. So I wrote him a couple Predator stories, and they never bought any of them, but that's secondary. Doesn't really matter. But obviously, Mark Schultz, who we all know did this wonderful book, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Xenozoic Tales. And that was, Mark Schultz, he was the author and the artist of it. He did all the covers for this Gene Colan thing. And it was a wonderful book from Kitchen Sink. And I think it lasted, I think this is the last issue. I think it's 13 issues. But it was, humans and dinosaurs, and it had a sense of Frazetta and Al Williamson and all the stuff he was really kind of into. And he even printed the book. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see that the book is a little bit wider than the modern books. So he was looking to do something that was like the Silver Age, really, just throwing himself into that time period. But he was asked to write a story for Gene Colan, and for this Predator thing that Gene Colan wanted to do, and he really did a great job. He's a very good writer, and he's a terrific artist. I mean, you can see his influences, but he really was terrific. And and then they got Gene and hopefully Rich will remember this, Gene the Dean Colan.
Yes, that was his nickname.
Back then. And it was colored by Gregory Wright, and it was published actually in 1997. I'm sorry, not 98, 97. And it's never been collected or reprinted that I'm aware of. I don't think I've looked for it, but I've never seen it.
I've never seen this before.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
And
is odd because Dark Horse does a lot of
that kind of thing, right?
books and reprints of their books into a hardback book and stuff like that. I mean, most comic companies make their money on that hardback after producing the comics. It's a way of
And this
making your money
this
back.
is Gene Colan.
Right.
This
So I
was-
wonder what happened.
This was great stuff. I don't know why, but it was either Mike Richardson or the editor, whose name was Bob Cooper, decided that he didn't need to be inked. So this entire series is based on the pencils of Gene Colan and colored by Gregory Wright, and it's all under, a lot of it certainly is underwater. So it's the Predator underwater, and it just struck me at the time that Hollywood was always looking for new ideas. They were looking for something to do with the Predator. And in my opinion anyway, they stumbled. They didn't know what to do with it. So they kept giving it to different people, and the stories were kind of the same. But this story is actually the Predator, his ship crashes under the water, and so he is confronted by giant squids and horrible snake things and all sorts of stuff. And of course, the military sends in their SEAL team or whatever it is, and they go underwater to find out what the ship is. And there's the Predator, who can obviously breathe underwater. I don't know, but he's underwater, and a lot of it is underwater, him fighting various sea creatures, and then the military shows up. And of course, it's the Predator. So he basically does what the Predator does. If you have a gun, then he's going to kill you. And it's really a very interesting story because it was the first time since, I think, Nathaniel Dusk, which was published by DC, as I recall, that you finally got to see Gene Colan's pencils. And they were great. They were very visceral and very emotional, and maybe they weren't as detailed and delineated as a lot of other artists were, but they were great. If you know who Gene Colan was, this is the guy who did everything for Marvel for years, and then went to DC and did a whole bunch of stuff for DC. Batman, his Batman run is legendary. And so it's always nice to see his art, especially in the basic form of it, kind of like Neil's pencils. Neil's pencils are great, but then his inking adds something to it. There were very few people that could interpret Gene Colan's pencils and make them better. Neil believed that he could make them better. He believed he was the only one that could really understand what Gene Colan was doing. He was working from photographs. He was, doing all this kind of stuff. And Neil thought, I can make this guy work. And I know a lot of people here have seen Neil working on one of Gene Colan's, I think it's his last job.
For Marvel.
For Marvel. On Captain America. And there are certain people here who have actually bought pages, and they're terrific. They're Gene Colan doing Gene Colan and Neil doing Neil. They're just...
Actually, I felt what was interesting when Neil inked the Gene Colan blue lines, which was Gene's pencils, was that Neil didn't do what Neil normally does when he inks people.
Right.
He actually didn't ink Neil Adams. He inked Gene Colan. And it wasn't like Neil was even fixing the things that you would think Neil would fix on Gene Colan.
Right.
And what I found interesting, and actually had a conversation with Neil, was that Gene had so much heart in his, two characters on the ground, and one is dying, and I just know the way that Neil would approach two characters with one character dying on the ground. But somehow the way Gene draws, it's more emotional. And it was the first time that I saw like Dad being beat on an emotional level. It was like, Dad, Gene kicked your ass. I don't know what to say. And therefore I'm like, okay, now I'm going to get the punishment for saying, Gene Colan just kicked your ass around the block, Dad. And Neil said, no, what you're saying is really true. Gene was very emotional in his drawing.
Very
and
evocative.
That's right. And that's what Neil loved about his drawings. And Neil left that in his inking, which normally Neil would take it and realistic it more and just make it more, in a way, hard.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's one of the few times I've seen Neil ink where it didn't become Neil Adams. It was the person.
Right.
And that Neil agreed that Gene was more emotional than he was. So
To a certain degree, I totally agree with you. I think that this particular story, it's only 3 issues, but this particular story is something that if I were a Hollywood producer, I would look at this story and I'd say, yeah, I can make this work.
There's something there.
I can take this and I can say, this is a new take on the predator, and I can put him underwater and I can have him fight, giant squids and whales and sharks and all this kind of stuff, and make this into something. So this is not just a standard.
was it only 3 issues?
It was only 3 issues.
Okay.
It was only 3 issues. Mark Schultz did all the covers, which I think was a good thing and possibly a bad thing. The good thing was that Mark Schultz at that point in his career was doing some really great work. I mean, everything here is very Frazetta. It's very, Al Williamson. All his influences are right there. You can just see it. And I think that this particular story was written well enough that it could be something really exciting. If they made a movie out of this, I would certainly go see it. I would absolutely see this.
Predator underwater would be interesting.
Right. It's something that's different. It's something that's unique.
Okay,
And
so if we
Hollywood-
all want to go buy this tonight, we have to go on eBay, I
You
guess.
have to go on eBay. You have to go to maybe Amazon. Maybe they can link you up. But,
And this is Dark Horses, 1 of 3, Predator, Hell, and Hot Water.
right. It's got a great title too. Hell and Hot Water.
Yeah,
What a great title.
cool cover.
Right.
Nice covers.
Right. And then Gene stayed with Dark Horse for a certain time period after that, and he returned to Dracula. But he couldn't do the Marvel Dracula. He had to do something different.
Right.
Even though he was working with Marv Wolfman, the same writer he had worked with on The Tomb of Dracula.
I was going to say, doesn't Marv do all the Dracula?
All the Draculas. He does all the Draculas. But this Dracula, I'm just going to say this, and hopefully no one will get too upset. This Dracula is younger. He's well-dressed. He is totally sexy. And boy, does he seduce women. It's not even just like, oh, I'm going to bite your neck. Okay, no. He does
Other things.
the full 9 yards.
Okay.
So if you're into seeing Gene Colan's pencils, this is a great place to go, because I think these are terrific stories, and they definitely should be read. They should be reprinted. I don't know why someone has
Well,
not
maybe
done that.
it'll happen now because you brought this from the depths of the comic boxes.
Maybe.
And have now promoted it as a reprint.
Right.
So maybe it'll come out.
But I do want to promote next week, because next week I'm going to do Adam Kubert, and it's going to be a story you've never heard of, I don't think, and it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be great.
And it's what sold me into having Pete come on
Right.
and dig up these little gems that get left behind that people forget ever got done.
That's right.
And maybe it'll cause it to affect some reprints out there. Maybe.
Maybe. You never know.
So are you staying with me?
Okay. So I also want to promote the fact that I'm going to be doing this same thing with 13th Dimension, where I'm writing a lot of stuff about Neil and Neil's connection to other artists. And so if you want to hear more about some of this stuff, you can go there. And every week I'm going to be doing something unique. Maybe you've seen
So
it.
he blows up and goes, Chris, there's no more. Now what do I do?
I got like at least a year of this stuff. But for right now,
Okay, here you go, Pete. This is a great segment from the Happy Towers.
okay. Thank you, Happy Towers.
Happy Towers says he's hyped.
Okay.
They seem to like this little segment of Pete here.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll continue doing it. And
And
like I
Pete,
said,
if I'm not mistaken, 13th Dimension is 13thdimension.com.
yes.
Yes.
And that's where I'm doing stories about Neil and different artists.
Right. You
and-
guys should check that out.
Yeah,
because
13th
Pete,
Dimension is a terrific website. They do all sorts of weird stuff about comics, some
toys.
Some
Right.
like they'll pick a week from 1978 and say these are the books that came out then, and
Right.
then they'll do something modern. So it's
But you're working on, it's based on birthdays of creatives, right?
birthdays of creatives
And
so,
how Dad interacted with those people or had opinions or whatever.
right.
So there's some cool stories, like you just did one.
I just did one on Steve Rude, which I thought was really well done. I really liked it.
Well,
and
you
then,
got a lot of views on that one, so I think there's more than you like.
and then coming up on I think the 14th, so in 4 days, Rudy Nebres,
Which I
Ooh,
definitely
Rudy.
would check that out
Which
on
is-
13th Dimension.
he's one of my heroes. He's a wonderful guy.
And we're letting you in on secrets of Rudy Nebres.
How he draws.
How he draws and other things, because Rudy worked at Continuity. How many years? It seems like forever Rudy was up at Continuity. But
Right.
Rudy did many years at Continuity, whether it was on commercial work or comic book stuff. I mean, most people don't even know Rudy was doing commercial work at Continuity and inking and penciling, storyboards and stuff like that.
And if you go to 13th Dimension, when you read that story, you will see some artwork that you haven't seen before that Neil laid out just roughly, and Rudy penciled and inked it, and it's amazing. It's Shaman, so it's Rudy's, wheelhouse,
Right.
and it's, a barbarian and a giant dragon. That's all I'm going to say.
And it's a really
And a
nice
water buffalo.
And a war.
and a water buffalo.
So
It's-
Happy Towers has a question. He says, I have to set up some alerts. Are you on a release schedule with 13th Dimension?
It's hard
Or
to
are we
say.
just going to
The
have to put
14th.
up posts?
The 14th, yeah, I'll have to post it. But the 14th is going to be Rudy, and then I have to write something else after that. But Dan Greenfield, who runs 13th Dimension, yay Dan. He's great.
I want you to know, how do we know Dan? We know Dan from Neil Adams leaving artwork in New York City cabs. That's how we met Dan, because Dan worked at the Post, and somehow we put pictures of the artwork up in the Post,
That's right.
and that's how I met Dan.
Right.
And he's been a good friend ever since.
And
Right.
Pete Andrea says, cool shirt.
Oh, thank you very
Pete has the coolest shirts.
much. I chose this one just for that.
Well, that is true.
Monsters.
So are you going to stay here with me, or are you going?
I was going to leave you. I'm going to let you.
You can stay here.
All right.
Well, you can even stay in that seat.
All right.
He can be Chris's lovely assistant.
Does he get exit music?
He's not exiting. We're keeping him. Except now I'm really confused. I don't know where any of my stuff is. Okay, we're gonna go on with our weird night.
So we had a request
Yes.
during that segment. Let's see, Pastor Batman 88 said, I missed the show. Can you show the wall sometime before you end tonight?
Sure. You can do anything.
If there's something on the wall that interests you, just let us know.
Yeah, just
Right.
know that Terrence the tree is not for sale, nor are his decorations.
Yeah, we are not shipping the tray.
Terrence has to move because he clogs my wall a little bit. So
But he likes where he is.
I know I'm gonna have to push him around. I have to get him a new pot.
I want you guys to know Terrence the tree started as a small plant.
And
And now he's like
So
9
Terrence
feet
the Tree
tall.
started as a stick.
Well, he was a baby. Mommy died, and this was a baby. And we got this plant when we first moved to this 39th Street a zillion years ago.
20-some odd years ago.
Right. It was a present from one of our clients.
So, Pastor Batman, if you see anything on the wall of interest,
I'm
just
going to
let
pull
us
some
know.
stuff down from the wall as we do this anyway. Okay, who is this from Blade Runner, Pete?
That is
Rachel.
Rachel.
Played by
Sean Young. Sean, I'm
What's
Just a
the
little too
Batman
crazy young.
and Robin at the top of the detective slab?
It's got to be the one
Top
in the
shelf.
corner.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, closest to you,
You
Pete.
grab that?
No.
That one I can use Okay, this is an original piece of art. You can sit. Batman and Robin. It is supposedly the Damian Robin. It is a signed piece by Neil. It is 8.5 by 11, and it is 1900 to buy. Now it is a piece of art, so this falls into our payment plan. Our payment plan works by putting 1/3 to 1/4 of the price down, like a down payment. You can pay it off over a reasonable time by paying like a monthly installment that you can choose how much you send in every month. Once it is paid off, we then will ship it out to you. It is how many people on this show have bought many pieces of artwork.
Can I just say, I love how Frankenstein is watching, looking at the artwork from the side.
For your shirt.
He's like right in the corner of my screen and he's like looking at the artwork.
So that is Batman and Damian. It is 1900 to buy. It is pen and ink Neil, and it is a signed piece for the price of 1900.
Dopey.
And that's what that is up there. Okay. So we're going to go back to Sean Young, and that's from Blade Runner.
And what
That
is her
is-
price tag?
Pen and ink Neil. Thank you, Pete. Signed by Neil. And this is 500 to buy. And she doesn't have a price tag. Okay. So that's there. Okay. Next one up is I have a Beetle Bailey. Now, Beetle Bailey, drawn by Neil, pen and ink, signed piece for 300.
Little fun fact about Sean Young: she was in the running to play Catwoman when Tim Burton was doing the Batman movies.
Right.
Was she in the running though?
I think
or did
Tim
she
Burton
show
made
up-
the right
Or
choice.
did she show up at a late night talk show?
Dressed up as
No,
Catwoman.
Don't
No,
believe
no,
everything
somebody
you
tells
read
the story of her turning up
as
in the
Catwoman.
Catwoman costume.
Yeah, because she was trying to sell them on it.
Mhm.
So, which I mean, that's a smart move, I guess. So, okay, Beetle Bailey. For those Beetle Bailey lovers out there who read the newspaper, here is Neil Adams doing Beetle Bailey, signed piece by Neil for 300.
And Lance said Michelle Pfeiffer was the best possible choice.
I would happen to agree with that.
Yeah.
She did a really great job. And apparently, Happy Towers ran into Sean Young in a building. She lived in the village. Who didn't live in the village?
Who has Happy not run into?
All right, next one up is George Jetson, drawn by Neil.
Well, and I want you guys to know the lettering for George Jetson and Beetle Bailey, that's Dad's penmanship. That's Dad writing.
That's true. These are
Those were not
the-
printed. Those were before we started
Right.
printing logos.
That's right. These were like one of the first sets of head sketches that we did. So they're nice. They're actually bigger too. If you look at the size of the square in the middle, they're bigger than what he normally does. So George Jetson is 300 to buy. It is pen and ink Neil with Neil's signature. That's all right. If nobody buys any of these, I'm kleptomaniacking them.
Nice.
Move all that art off the wall, Pete. The two pieces we have.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we have Archie up next, which Neil Adams started with Archie, is my understanding.
Jughead joke pages.
That's right. Archie, I'm going to make 200 to buy. So 200 for Archie, pen and ink Neil's signature.
Like they do in Riverdale, I would jump on Archie.
So crass.
But true, that show is like insane.
Not the show. Well, what do you mean?
The TV
just
show.
Just the TV show?
The TV show.
Yeah, that's
Riverdale
what she's
TV
talking
show.
about.
Yeah.
Okay, Archie 200. Okay, now you have to be European to like the rest of these.
You have to be French.
I have Lucky Luke drawn by Neil for 200. And again, this is Neil's handwriting. Sam Green, oh my God, is claiming Archie.
Sam has jumped on Archie.
It's not too sexy for you.
It is not too sexy.
No, Lucky Luke is too sexy.
Okay, so we're going to put Sam Green on this.
Well, he's a
Thank you,
redhead,
Sam.
right? He's a redhead, right?
Yes, he is.
So he has no soul.
Well, that's what they say about redheads. I mean, where is that?
Well, Pete, you're the closest to a real ginger we have, so you would pick
Right,
that.
but isn't that like a real saying?
Yes, that
Yeah,
gingers
no,
have no soul.
Right, but where was that?
I don't know.
Don't know. All right,
Do you have a song, Pete?
no, he does not.
You know where it started? It started with that ginger kid in A Christmas Story. That kid had to have started with that kid.
I don't know. We're gonna have to find out.
Okay, I have Lucky Luke for 200. Did I say that? I have a
Yes.
nice Archie collection.
You just haven't put a sticker on them.
Mainly
Yeah.
Dan Parent.
Your
Dan
stickies are not
Parent,
sticking.
you have to have Henry Scarpelli and Stan Goldberg.
Yes.
Those are the Archie dudes. If you don't have Dan DeCarlo. I mean, Dan Parent's like third generation in my book of Archie. Sorry, Dan.
Chris goes way back.
Over here.
I love the boys. Okay, next stop
Next stop.
is,
Corpo Maltese.
thank you, Sam. And what is he from?
He's from,
French comic.
He is from Corto Malta.
And who draws that?
Um.
This is why I have Pete with me tonight.
Oh Jesus. That
You're
guy.
failing me.
I know. I'm
Is
totally
it French
feeling
or Spanish?
I think it's Spanish.
I know, but the artwork looks French.
Hugo Pratt.
Ah, Hugo Pratt.
It's
That's
good.
why Neil drew it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
Hugo was a good writer. I will say that.
yes. Because it would take Neil to. I remember this once again. Everything lived in our bathroom.
But was it a Spanish book or a French book?
Probably both, because
I
that
think it
stuff
was
got
Spanish.
printed in
It
both.
was European.
It's European in the bathroom.
No, I get
Dump
that.
it. Dad jokes.
It was a dad joke. Okay, we'll look it up and we'll find information as we move on. This is going to be the longest night show we've ever
No
done.
kidding.
According to Gustavo, our European know-it-all,
Yeah.
It is Italian/French.
Ah,
Okay, speaking of French, I have Henry Bogart.
Humphrey
Humphrey
Bogart.
Bogart. I'm doing good. Humphrey Bogart tonight.
Hank Bogart,
Hank Bogart.
Private Eye.
I want to know.
Bulgari.
This is a really, really nice drawing. It is very tight. It has lots of line work on it. This is a gorgeous piece of art for 300. And even Andrea says, nice Bogart. So it gets the Andrea's seal of approval. It's a really nice piece, though. If you're into Hank Bogart, this is the piece for you.
All right, Happy Towers is claiming bogey.
Okay. Thank
Very
you.
nice.
Thank you, Happy Towers. Wait a minute, Chris is not. Doing her job here. Okay, so Sam, no, what am I doing?
Happy.
Happy
Happy.
Towers.
Happy Towers.
Why don't you let Pete help you out a little bit?
Over. This goes over here. I'm good. Okay. Last weird one for the night.
Keith Moon.
Marilyn likes bogey a lot. Uh-oh. Happy Towers just took it away from Marilyn.
Uh-oh.
You're in trouble. Wait a minute, where's my palm? Palm. Who didn't do open the bombs? Chris Adams. I was going to tell a dad story, but now I don't know what it is. Ah, growing up in the Bronx.
Woo!
There we go. So I want you to know that all European art books were in the bathroom in the Bronx because the only free time Dad ever got was probably in the bathroom. So every bathroom that Neil Adams has ever owned or lived in, I should say, would always have a stack of comics.
The best thing is we would see Dad get up from his desk and he'd like grab a couple of books and we'd be like, oh, Dad's been in the bathroom.
Well, he would stop by Pete and ask
Yeah.
me, so what's good to read?
Yeah.
What do you got
On the
for
way
me
to the
to
bathroom.
And he
read?
would come back and he'd leave it on my desk, and I was like, nope, it's yours now.
But here's one for you, Wednesday. So when I was a kid, I definitely remember the first time I saw a Jim Steranko comic cover.
Okay.
Because I thought Jim Steranko was from Europe because, first of all, he had a white cover with really good-looking people in kind of mod, groovy colors. And I was like, oh, he must be European. Because it kind of looked like the European stuff that Dad had in the bathroom. So it took a while before I realized that Jim Steranko was American. And that he did American comics and that he didn't come from Europe because his art style looked more European because it was sexy and it had a white background. And it's like burned into my head, whatever that comic is with the white background and these sexy, groovy people. And there's like a chick on it. And
Shield.
Probably. And
Nick Fury, Agent of Shield.
Probably. But forever, Steranko will be a European artist to me, based on the bathroom in the Bronx. Okay, so we have the Who piece.
Keith Moon.
Ooh, you mean I got it right?
Signed by Neil. This is a pen and ink by Neil. It would be nice, Chris, if you had a price on it.
Yeah.
This is $300 to buy. Again, really nice job here. Very tight. A lot of line work on it. $300 to buy it. Oh, Marilyn said, and then Neil tightened the toilet seat. Yeah, there's got to be a lot of comic stores out there now whose toilet seats are probably falling off because Dad has not been at the comic stores to do signings and tighten all the toilet seats. Yep, see, Happy Towers has this Steranko shield from the 60s. Okay, so Mr. Who.
Oh, just a farmer? Okay, you don't have to bid. All you have to do is say that you claim and let us know what it is that you are claiming. Since you are on YouTube, we don't have direct message on YouTube. What you would need to do is once we see your claim and verbally acknowledge it, you either want to go to neiladamsstore.com and email us through there, or you can find us on Facebook at Neil Adams Comic Artist, or there's Instagram, which is the Neil Adams. And send us a direct message from there with your information on your email address, your mailing address, and your PayPal email address.
Happy Tower says he has the white cover Jim Steranko book. I'm not insane.
Never said you were.
And I always think I'm insane. Okay, next up, I need the Green Lantern here. Black Canary.
So, Just a Farmer, was there something you were interested in that you want to have us pull up again, or shall we move along?
We're moving. Okay, so tonight I promised weird or curious art. So I went digging. So this whole set that I'm going to show is an auction. So we're going to do an auction where we bid. We bid in $20 or $10?
Depends on the price of the piece. But that's
I'm going to
okay.
say bid in $20 increments.
Okay.
We don't do, what is it called?
Sniping.
Sniping. So we
we
will
end
wait.
the auction when the bidding's done, so there's no need to snipe.
Right. Now, this is a commercial job. It's really cute. And I'm going to try and show this right. I'm going to show this first because this is what this whole thing is about. That is the product that we were selling. And obviously they had this 3D character, or they were in the process of making this 3D character that sells the product, which the product is Elidel, which I didn't even look up what Elidel was, but he's really cute. And we ended up doing an animatic, which is basically a test commercial for this. Did you say snipe? No, Gustavo, we did not. So here we go. So the first piece,
It's for eczema.
Yeah, it's a skin cream.
I thought it was some kind of skin thing. Okay, so, whoops. This is an auction price of $300. You get all of these pieces. Okay, so that is the black and white. I'm going to hop to the color really quick, but this is drawn pencil and ink Neil. It is the little character. It is Lady, and the little character here is the color of that piece. And they're obviously carving a pumpkin.
And since these are not signed, they will come with the sticker certificates or the.
No, I do actually have.
Okay, these will come with the
authenticity.
paper certificates of authenticity.
Right. Okay, so that is the first scene. Now the second scene, we're using her body. Does it work if I do this? Probably not, because Dad drew. Here, I'm going to put it up like this, so you get some sense of it. So the black and white art looks like that. So the second piece is her head, because he's still using the pumpkin. She's now looking at the little guy, and the little guy, now I'm going to show you in color, has now carved his pumpkin into himself. So that's the second scene. And those are extra pieces. So if you actually wanted to play with this, you can cut that all apart. And she is going to carve her pumpkin. So she gets ready to carve her pumpkin. And then she shows her pumpkin has a traditional pumpkin face. So that is the art for that. That is his new head position. So he's still sitting with his pumpkin with his face on it. And then she changes to her pumpkin has a pumpkin face. So these are all drawn, and here is the actual black and white art for the little pieces that were on the other piece. So these pieces are all Neil Adams. They are colored by the Continuity Studios coloring guys and girls. We're starting this as an auction of $300. I know we don't have what's his face with us, Benjamin Wyman with us to start this off. But all of this art, which I'll find a cute piece, I'll put together here maybe. I'll put the first frame up because you get to see both of them together, and I'll put it up in color.
I was telling Chris earlier that the character reminds me a little bit of Stephen Colbert.
It does,
or at least
Stephen
the pumpkin he
Colbert.
carves.
Right. I'll just do the color parts again. So, because they're easier to see on camera. So again, this is an auction price of $300. You get all the pieces for this. And there's her with the pumpkin. So it's almost like $100 per drawing that's going on here. It is a build. Here are the black and whites. Let's see what I have on top of the collar. So would anybody like to bid on this? Yes, no. This is where I need a ticking clock, like the way they used to do that. Well, there was that commercial that came on late at night, and it was a clock that would strike 12.
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where you're going?
No, it wasn't that. Because I should have been in bed, and I wasn't. And actually, Kenny Sticer, Dad's best friend from high school, besides Ed Maslin, is designed that thing with it was like a tower with a clock, and it clicked down. It was for late movies, and he animated that because Kenny was an animator. Okay, nobody's interested in my pumpkin. Okay, I will try something else tonight. I did bring food, but I don't see Ford, so I don't think my foodie people are on with me. I can try this one. This is based off of the kind of building of the Empire State Building. This actually was a Dannon commercial we did.
Sam Green says Ford is here.
Oh, is he? Okay, so I have construction workers on the beam. In black and white. And they all have their lunch boxes. I have it in black and white. I have it in color.
And what are we starting this one
At auction price 100. And then what happens is they open their lunchbox, which goes this way.
Yep.
They open their lunch boxes. There's a piece for that. Okay, this piece with the construction workers is for Dannon. They're all eating Dannon yogurt up on a building. And they open their lunch boxes, and then they start singing. What's the concept behind this one? It is auction star price 100 for the construction guys. You have the original pencil and ink by Neil. Original color is Continuity Studios. And Kelly Rusk, if you're asking what was the first one I showed, that was for
Elidel,
Elidel.
which is an eczema cream.
Right, it's Elidel.
And the one with the construction workers that we're showing right now is Dannon yogurt.
Right.
Which you guys may not know, Dannon yogurt has been a staple in our family for a very, very, very long time. We actually have a photo of probably maybe year and a half old me being spoon-fed by Jason.
Coffee.
Dannon coffee yogurt.
Right,
Yeah.
Coffee Dannon yogurt.
Coffee Dannon yogurt.
I believe this one did become a commercial, yes. They end up singing, kind of like singing and dancing with Dannon yogurt.
There was quite a few years that watching like regular TV with commercials, which we don't do anymore. Like every commercial would come on and go, ours, ours, ours.
That is true.
And then the ones that weren't ours, we go, well, that looks good. I may have to go to the supermarket and try it.
Okay, anybody want to bid on the construction workers? Put that out there. All right, if construction workers don't work, and
Jim Hackett says that he will bid $100. Thank you,
Okay.
Jim Hackett.
so we have a opening bid for Jim Hackett at 100. The music has begun.
Happy Towers is tempted.
So,
But
once
they don't
again,
look union.
they're not union.
They're eating their lunch on the site. You know they're union.
So, anyone else can bid. We have the construction workers with open and closed lunch boxes at $100. This will come with a certificate of authenticity saying that Neil drew it. That is true. This is what you pay for a print. And this is original art. So $100 is where we are at with Jim Hackett. Anybody else? Otherwise, I'm going to close it off for the night.
Oh, Kelly Rusk is at 125.
Kelly Russ. See, I try and make people happy. Some people have asked for commercial work. I found some commercial work. Some people were looking for prints. Or posters. I found those for Phil. Jim Hackett is at 150. This is really nice work. This was done for Y&R, Dannon. We did a lot of work for Dannon. It's a very clean piece. What do we get? By Neil.
Kelly Rusk is at 200.
Whoa.
And you get 5 figures on this piece.
And lunch boxes.
And lunch boxes. There you go. Do you guys know who else worked at Y&R?
Happy Towers.
No, I don't think Happy Towers worked at Y&R. He may have freelanced at
Good guess.
Y&R, knowing Happy Towers.
Seemed like a reasonable guess.
Just a Farmer, the way you bid is just say bid and give us your price, and you will be included in this. Just in the commentary where you just wrote, how do I bid?
Marilyn Adams worked at Y&R. She used to work on Jell-O pudding pops at Y&R.
Happy Tower says he freelanced at Bozell.
I never liked Bozell.
Uh,
That was not one of my favorite agencies. You know what other agency I used to not like? Ted Bates. That was like another one. Ted Bates would, to do an animatic, you sat in a room with like 50 people and they all had different opinions and you would try and take down the notes and it was like, oh my God, shoot me. All I need is more competition. Okay, so we're currently with Kelly Rusk at 200. So Jim, are we gonna let this one roll? What are we gonna do?
And if you're out, just let us know you're out also.
Right.
So we can
Jim
close it
Hackett
out.
is at 225.
You go,
Oh.
Jim. Jim, you are the man.
Happy Tower says McCann was nice.
McCann was nice.
Did they,
Kelly Rusk is
pudding
at
puffs?
250.
Kelly Russ is at 250. Whoa.
It's interesting it's not showing up on my Facebook.
What?
Kelly's bids.
Oh, it's not in
Yeah.
the commentary?
Yeah, I'm glad you got this set up now. We can spot it.
Wait a minute. I have Jim Hackett at 225. You
Oh,
Kelly
Kelly
Russ
Rusk
at
At least 250.
250.
Sorry.
Okay.
Why is it doing that? Jeez.
It didn't come up on mine.
Okay.
Yeah, mine.
I got it. I got it.
She's got it.
Okay.
You got it?
Okay, we have
Okay,
Kelly
okay,
Rusk
okay,
at
okay.
250.
Jim Hackett says, I'm out.
Okay.
Thank you for your bids.
All right. Anybody else would like to pay? Blah 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 blah. Would anyone else like to
So I
place?
can say anything about Rich now. Says Kelly Rusk.
And that comment actually showed up. Whatever reason, it's the numeric bids that don't show.
Yeah, they don't like it. Okay, so we're going to go once with Kelly Rusk for $250 on the construction workers. I just found the commercial on YouTube. There you go. I'm going twice for Kelly Rusk at $250 for the construction workers. And I'm going to go 3 times with Kelly Rusk. It is yours, construction workers.
You know what I should do? I should have like a little video of fireworks and stuff. Put that.
Where are all the other construction workers? There they are. Okay. Thank you, Kelly Rusk. You dancing? Okay.
Pete's victory dance.
Yes.
Did you want me to stay later tonight?
I don't know. How are you all feeling? You want to keep going? What's the next train for you? Train man. Okay, Kelly Rusk. Let's go in my pile. We're so messed up tonight.
It's an hour later.
All right. You want to do an hour later?
Okay.
Okay. Zia's in. I'm in. You in?
Sure.
You good? Okay. All right. Next up in our auction is I'm gonna go with Pretty Women.
That always works.
That always works. Not always. I will say not always. Okay, this is going to be.
Naked?
No, she's not naked. Sorry.
Well,
Commercial, isn't it? Well, I'm not going to say that we did find commercial work where there were naked ladies.
I know.
Oh, Kelly Rusk is requesting to include the bid post-its with the art.
Oh, that's going to be extra, Kelly.
All right, does he want all the post-its or just his winning post-it?
If I know Kelly, he wants them all.
Okay, they're all there. So.
He wants to know who he bid against and
Oh,
what the
okay.
increments were.
All right, this is my new post. Okay, so this is an auction starting at $300. I have, this was for, I wrote it down. Wait a minute, she wrote it down. Daily Defense Replenish Hair Shampoo and
Don't hate me because I use them.
Conditioner. Beautiful hair.
I'll hate you for a different reason.
Okay,
I got
here
plenty
we
of
go.
reasons. My hair is not one of them.
We have 1, 2.
Uh-oh.
We
She
don't have
fainted.
1, 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 frames of one beautiful woman with gorgeous hair. No problem,
That's-
Kelly. We
that's-
have you covered. Glowed away. So we have 4 frames here drawn by Neil, pen and ink.
And the starting bid on this is 300.
300. I just covered up my post-it. So very pretty art. Neil does gorgeous hair. And then she is eating eggs.
Let them eat eggs.
You know that's something like ice cream or creme brulee or something like that. So eggs.
Okay. Andrea says, if only blow drying drying my hair made me that happy. Me in the morning, I love to blow dry my hair. If I had a wind machine, I would look good all the time.
Okay, Beyonce.
There's something nice
Okay,
about
Cindy
wind,
Crawford.
wind in your hair.
All right, and Greg Harper, these are on tracing paper, so this is as clean as I can get the art to look. Mainly being as there's a bit of a shadow, but yeah, that's as good as it's gonna get.
All right, I'm going to show these now in color, but I do not, underline the word do not, have the original colors on this. I have a feeling, because this is a storyboard presentation, we handed in our original colors. So I do not have the original colors, but I am going to put in the good colored Xeroxes of the color that goes with this job. So while you're looking at those 4 frames, I'm going to flash. This is what the color of these frames look like.
And these are color copies.
And these are color copies. These are very good color copies. So that's that top right one. This is the next one. Pretty here. That is the next one. And that is the last one. So that is what the color on this job looked like. Again, I do not have the color
The original color.
originals anymore. I just have the black and white originals or pen and ink originals, but I will put in the color copies that we do have from this job. So again, 4 nice frames by Neil. It is an auction start price of $300. Pretty art. And hair is one of those things that not too many people actually do well. I mean, even Neil had to learn how to do good hair. So,
Standard.
well, yeah, he did good hair from Stendrick, but even from going from Stendrick to doing commercial hair,
Yeah, it's
he
different.
said it's different.
It's different.
Yeah. He used to work on, what was that shampoo that like was Adam and Eve?
Herbal essences.
I guess it was the very beginning of Herbal
Yeah.
Essence when it was the goddess.
I think it was.
She was a
herbal.
goddess or
Yeah.
something like that. Those were very early Neil Adams. Is that your crickets? Because they're cricketing. Very early Neil Adams hair commercials. Okay, so you don't want my beautiful women. We'll put the beautiful women away then. Okay, auction price $300 on those beautiful women. Nope. Okay. Beautiful women, good night. I had good hair. I got old. Okay. All right, for the foodie group, here we go. I have grilled cheese sandwich made on a crimping iron for $100. It comes with a Xerox of the color. That is Neil's black and white art. Straighten it out there. Crimping iron, cheese. Apparently we prefer construction workers. And Andrea has an animatic where the hair was beautiful. So that is the crimping iron with the American cheese melting sandwich for $100. I actually like this one. It made me want a grilled cheese sandwich
Yeah,
today.
it's making me want a grilled cheese
If
sandwich.
there's one thing we did well at continuity, it was grilled cheese sandwiches because Dad was really good at making bubbly cheese that
Mhm.
drooled over the side of the bread. His dad could make a mean
Grilled cheese.
grilled cheese sandwich. Another thing, if you could get Dad to make your grilled cheese sandwiches,
There's a lot of butter. There's a lot of butter in that.
Oh, tons of butter. Tons of butter, and he wasn't skimpy with the cheese either.
You never should know what this was for.
And he never liked things burnt, so he would not burn them either. So,
What was this for?
this was actually for the hair commercial. This is part of the hair commercial. That was the Daily Defense. So, crimping iron with American cheese sandwich. Going to the side. Okay, next is, you'll see the theme of this. I'm actually going to put the color up because then you'll see it better. Okay, so what are the hot dogs grilling on? That is a color copy.
Those hair twirling things.
Right.
Um,
And then here is the original art stuff. So, hot dog grill. Now you will notice that Neil, who doesn't like to draw things he doesn't have to draw, this is the wrong way. Sorry.
No, you just needed to flip the paper over. You're showing the back of the paper. Now you're showing the front of the paper.
Happy Tower's grandmother used to make grilled cheese sandwiches with a clothes iron and aluminum foil.
I have seen it. I want to try that.
Okay.
So,
I have toasted mini marshmallows with a toothpick and a candle flame.
that's really sad because you're supposed to take your fork, stick it in a marshmallow, and then put it over your gas stove or electric stove.
Yeah, I had electric stove.
But then the foolish thing you do is once it's caught fire and you blow it out and you go to bite it, not only does the molten lava of the marshmallow burn you, but the fork is now at like 1,000,000 degrees. So if the lava didn't get you, the fork gets you. So this is grilling hot dogs on curling irons. Correct. Here is the color for that.
I guess for the color, we must have doubled it up.
Because Dad won't draw what he doesn't have to draw.
Zia, just duplicate it.
Just
Don't
duplicate.
draw what you can copy. Don't copy what you can trace. Don't trace what you can cut out and paste in.
Right. Unfortunately, Neil
Don't do
Adams
that
went.
unless you could just give it to Zia.
There's that too.
Unfortunately, Neil went to the Wallywood School of Art. Okay, so that's $100. Then
I want y'all to know there's a whole bunch of computer stuff that nobody bothered to learn because it was easier to just hand it over to me.
it's true. Blow dryer cooking a egg in a pan. I don't know if this would
I
work.
don't know if this would work.
You'd
It
have to
would
have a
be
really
like-
hot.
But it is a very
Blow
good
dryer.
looking egg though. And
It
where are we
is.
starting this one at?
100. All of these, each one of these is 100. That is the color. And it goes this way.
No, flip it over. No, you're right. Sorry.
You're right on this side.
Sorry. You're right. You're
Cool
right.
brown graded background is what Neil Adams asked for. Got Neil Adams writing there,
Got a
and,
warm gray instead.
and somebody did a warm gray and didn't listen to Neil. The frustrations of working at continuity. So that is also 100 to buy. So we looked at the blow dryer egg, the grilling hot dogs, and the grilled cheese curling iron. And each one of those is $100 each. The color is a Xerox copy. The black and white is original art by Neil. So if anyone is interested in that, you should just call out what you're interested in. Otherwise, I'm going to start moving on. And we're going to go more our traditional route. I can go back to anything you guys might want to see. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. This is a piece I pulled out. I can put this on the side. Yeah. Oops. This is 8.5 by 11. This is dark phoenix, light
Yes.
phoenix,
Very good.
mid-range
Chris.
phoenix.
I'm getting
Which
a
phoenix
glare
are we?
on her neck.
Good, it's weird because she's pretty upright.
She might do better out of the plastic.
Okay.
No, that's fine. The way you had it was fine. That's fine.
You want her out of the plastic
No, I'm
because
good.
she's dark?
I'm good.
Are you okay? You want out?
No, it's fine.
In? Out? In? Okay. This is a piece we have had. Zia went back in and reworked this a little bit. Oops. And darkened her hair a bit. Now her eyes really pop. All the highlighting really pops. This is Pen and Ink Neil. It is a signed piece by Neil. It is originally colored by Jason. It was gone over by Zia. And the price on this is
$1,900.
$1,900. She is 8.5 by 11. I think she looks gorgeous now. I love the white highlights. We just added a little bit more contrast to her and popped some stuff out.
Little zhuzh.
Wait till I get Zia's bill for zhuzhing.
A zhuzh bill.
Does
Not everybody can afford my judge.
she zhuzh by the hour?
She does.
Screw that, I judge by the minute.
So 1,900 on this gorgeous piece. Again, the size of this is 8.5 by 11. It is signed by Neil on the top of her head. And it really is a nice piece of art, and I'm glad we have brought it back. We brought it back. All right. Okay. Next piece for my night is going to be Batman with the Moon, so CLRBM Moon for $2,200. This is Pen and Ink Neil. Color on this is Jason Adams, and it is $2,200 to buy. Nice Batman. Kind of has an older feel to it. In the
More vintagey.
yeah, more vintagey. The red is what kind of pulls that into it a little bit. And the shadowed buildings in the background. There's Neil's signature at the bottom. $2,200 for Batman. Okay, next up is a BM pencil batarang. So this is Neil's prelim pencil for one of the commission pieces, or one of the pieces he actually did on the show. Not on the show, but for the show. It is Batman with a batarang, and the price on this is $900. This is not a signed piece, so this piece would get a certificate of authenticity by us that would go along with it. And the price for this is $900, which is also a very nice price for Neil Adams. Okay, next up, I'm going to go with the, I think we scanned this.
Dominatrix, yep, we got her.
Right, the
I just
dominatrix
don't remember what her
piece. I
what
could
her
put her
price
in
is.
plastic because she doesn't hold right.
She's a little twisted.
Maybe that will help. She has a little bit of a curl to her as a problem.
Right, how much is she?
She is $700. Now this is a pencil and ink. Now for Kelly Rusk, who may still be out there, I don't know. This is a piece that goes with the piece that you bought, which was the one where there was like an alien on top of a desk who had ripped off the head of one of the businessmen,
And the other
and
guy was
the
under
other
the
guy
desk.
was hiding under the desk, and then there were like other people off of the corner, and we thought that was for sci-fi. And then I found the next piece, which was kind of an alien-looking predator. I would say more alien-looking, where there's a woman who is stuck on the tail of the alien. Yes,
Impaled.
the head ripper demon, right, Kelly? This is the third piece. This was not for sci-fi, even though it definitely felt for it. And it actually was done for J. Walter Thompson, but I have no idea what we were selling, because the fact that this was for J. Walter, which really does a lot of food in the
Was it
land
booze,
of.
maybe? Like
They
you drink
weren't-
enough, you're gonna see these
They
things.
weren't really even a booze agency. J. Walter was very food oriented, so I have no idea what these were for.
Maybe it's a toothpaste there.
Maybe toothpaste. Okay, we'll go with toothpaste. So this is Pen and Ink Neil. It is a lady bat creature who has a guy who is chained up on the back wall
And the computer is melting on the desk.
on the computer.
So
Maybe it's like
so
some
it's a happy
business thing.
it's a happy family story, right?
Yes, a happy family
It's a
story.
feel-good story.
Yeah, it's a
Feel-good
marriage,
story.
right?
Now, I will say the chick who is the bat on this is actually really cool.
Mm.
Her wing work here is amazing. The price on this to buy is $700. It is not signed by Neil.
It is
Yes, it
signed.
is.
Oh, it is signed
Yep.
by Neil.
Yep.
Sorry, I had it cut off at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, so it is signed by Neil. $700 to buy. And this too could be yours, and then you can explain it to everybody in your neighborhood. But it
Well,
is
It's real Neil Adams, but even they didn't know where it came from.
right, exactly. Now I'm going to show the other piece to it. I'm going to make this also 700. See.
Okay.
Now he must have loved them because he signed them, even though they're commercial.
Well, they
work.
are awfully cool.
Okay, this one we call Office Alien.
Yeah, this is the impaled lady.
Right. So this is now this and the Bat Lady and, like I said, Kelly, the piece you bought, they were all together,
All part of the same job.
all part of the same job.
Yeah. Sorry.
So this too is $700 to buy. We brought that down on price. It's like an alien exoskeleton who has impaled a lady on his tail, and it seems to be going towards the business guys. Again, interesting piece of art. I mean, I love this just for the design work of the alien. Forget what it was about. I would even patch out the three businessmen and just have a lady who is stuck on my tail. And it's very cool.
Happens to me all the time.
It's very alien-like. Nice pen and ink work by Neil for sure on this. I mean, even the three businessmen in the background are all animated in horror back there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great, I would say it's a panel, but it is a great, nice, interesting piece of art. And $700 for that. And even the dominatrix lady who's also got snakes up her boot on one leg.
Got snakes in my boot.
Well, she's got a snake climbing up her leg there. Nice work for $700.
I hate snakes. I hate them.
Why'd it have to be snakes?
It's always snakes. Okay, I'm going to go to a print because I'm going to just turn this around. This is a love scene between Black Canary and Green Arrow. And I think this time they might connect.
I don't know. She's a cold fish.
She's a cold fish. Okay. The cold fish in fishnets.
He loves her. I'm not sure if he trusts him.
Right. So this is, what size is this? 11 by 14. 11 by 14. This is a print signed by Neil for $100. Nice piece of art here. Or not art, but nice print here.
Design for Action says I claim Green Arrow Black Canary print.
Yay!
All right, I show great art, and we're just buying the love scene here.
Come on.
Okay, so who is this going to?
This is Designed for Action. One word.
Designed fraction.
For Action.
Oh, for action. I kind of like design
Sign
fraction. Okay, this is 100. So just make sure to direct message us your information, your real name and address where we're shipping, and an email for us to send you a invoice.
My Rusk says it's all about the fishnets.
I will send you an invoice tomorrow and thank you for your purchase.
Exactly. And wait a minute, you too get a bomb. My big bombs are coming for Friday night, guys.
Good, because they should give me out of these by the time we get there.
Yay. I got a
You
couple
get a
of
bomb
packs.
and you get a bomb.
I got a couple of packs of the little bombs.
Happy Towers wants to double check how much was Corto Maltese, 200 or 300?
Thinking
300. I think it was 300.
Yeah, 3.
Really?
2? 3? You're gonna make us look.
And Design for Action says my first bomb.
He was 300. We were right on that. There he is. For you.
Trace 100.
When nothing works, pull out the love scene.
The go-to.
The go-to, exactly. Dad, you should just have drawn love scenes all the time.
Chris, you did good.
I was going to go the other way. Chris, I'm not drawing love scenes.
Well, that would be. But Dad, we can make a ton of money. No, I'm not doing it.
Okay, maybe.
Okay. Here's a favor from the past. All right, I need my big plastic.
You took your plastic.
I did take my plastic. You're right. I'm holding it. Okay, this is the famous drug cover. Speedy shooting up. Oh my God, my ward is a junkie. This is 100 to buy, 13 by 19. And here was a famous cover of some sort, even though I hear that Stan Lee beat Neil Adams in doing a drug cover, drug story.
Yeah, but he just did pills.
But Neil says it's because he showed the cover up at Marvel way before this came out.
Couldn't keep his
And
art in his portfolio.
He can keep his art in his portfolio. That's right.
Yeah, well, we all know that Dad was really bad at keeping secrets.
Yep. So this is 100 to buy if you're interested in the cover where Speedy is a junkie.
I would come up with these really cool techniques on how to do stuff in animatics, and Dad would go, "Don't tell the clients how we do it." And then the clients would be in there, and Dad would go, "Whoa, well, all we have to do is have this up, and we're going to whoop, 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 whoop." And it's like, Dad, shut up.
That's Dad. Okay, next up is Batman hanging off a building. This is 13 by 19. This is, I believe this is on Kuga. No. This is actually the nice Giclée paper. So it's got
Hold it together there, woman.
fantastic color. I need my plastic.
You took the plastic.
Hold my print. So that print is 100 to buy. Found my plastic. I'm tired.
You wanted to
I'm
keep going.
No,
Sweetie.
turn it vertical.
You wanted to keep going.
I'm sleepy. Do I have it the right way?
There you go. That a girl.
Thanks, Mom. Okay, $100. Batman hanging on the building. I love the color on this one myself. 100 to buy. I hate when they go down to the street level because it actually makes me a little nauseous when you guys do that.
Loogie legs.
Yeah. I don't think I could be Batman because I don't think I could be up on the buildings.
Mm-mm.
Could you see us, Batman, Batman, and Catwoman on a roof? You and I would be like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Can you see us as the spider guys?
No, I have a nauseous running while you're playing Spider-Man on
I get
TV.
nauseous too. I have to fly through the city. It's ridiculous.
Right.
It's nauseous man and vomit.
Girl.
I just moved it.
No, turn it. Yeah.
Okay, next up is the 80th anniversary of Catwoman and Joker. These were actually two comic covers that Neil did as variant comic covers for the anniversaries. And he had designed it that he knew he was going to do a print and put them together. This print is 100 to buy. This is a fave rave of thinking by Neil Adams because it did take a little bit to work out that Joker would be on one side of the clock, Catwoman would be on the other side of the clock, yet they're on the other side of the clock. And then how do I make Batman that he works for both covers where he's not facing us? Which that to me is like, that's where the problem is. How do you make Batman good enough for one cover and still good enough on the other cover, but yet they have to come together? And of course, the master pulls it off once again with a gorgeous piece that does work as a print put together. That amazing Neil Adams. And look at that rain stuff my sister does.
Rain stuff.
This is the bouncy rain stuff.
Splatter.
That's the technical name for it.
It is.
Rain stuff.
Rain
Yeah.
stuff. Bouncy rain stuff.
Bouncy rain stuff.
Do more bouncy rain stuff.
Isn't that what I would say to Dad or
Yes.
Zia? Can we do some more bouncy rain stuff?
And she's even got water droplets on her skin that drip down. Yeah. Drips.
She's got drips. This is
She's got
100
the
to
drips.
buy for the Catwoman Joker. This again is a print. I subscribe to a veteran vacation club and this town came up on my list. I Googled the place and that.
He's talking about Hot Springs, Arizona, that has a gangster museum. That's kind of thing.
Oh,
You mean,
thank you, Sam.
you mean the segue?
Yes. The
Oh.
tangent.
Distracting the audience?
Distracting Chris. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do a Ra's al Ghul cover just because I feel like it.
Yep.
She knew. She just sticks it to the plastic before she rotates it.
There you go. Ra's al Ghul, first cover ever done.
Where's that original appearing?
It's appearing on Scott Dunbar's IDW Neil Adams gallery book, is what I hear. And soon we will be announcing 2 editions that is coming from us and what covers are going to be on those 2 editions. And those 2 editions are going to be really limited. That's okay, Kelly. I'm just easily distracted.
Look, shiny.
It's kind of like that. They make fun of me all the time up here. You should ask what they picked for my theme music tonight. Because Pete got theme music, and then it was like, what's my theme music? Wasn't good. So anyway, we're looking at Batman Ra's al Ghul. This is a 13 by 19 print of the first Ra's al Ghul cover where Robin gets shot. Such a drama in all the first Speedy's a junkie. Robin's getting shot.
Changing the comic industry.
And Neil Adams guy.
That's right.
Okay, $100 for this piece. It's a nice giclée paper.
Claim one of the upcoming limited editions.
But I haven't shown it to you yet. I may have like a little cartoon drawing on my cover.
No, for real, Kelly. If one of them is what I think it's going to be, totally do it.
Yeah, you guys are going to be mad because I'm not going to have enough copies. That's how limited it is.
Two, it'll be a sketch cover with a stick figure by Chris.
There you go. Thought you wanted Neil Adams.
I like the post-its with the little Batman heads
You know
on
what?
them
I
that
pulled
Chris
the
used
wrong
to
one.
do.
Sorry that this looks like a little bit of crap up there. I grabbed the wrong one. But I do have one that's in perfect shape with a Neil Adams signature on it. I think this was once a sign. This is Neil's Captain America, which is based on another person's cover. Come on,
Nerds.
my know-it-all.
Schoenberg. Was it Alex Schoenberg?
Rich just because
You don't know. You don't know me.
I believe you are correct, Pete.
No, I agree with you.
And you win $50 for pulling up that answer tonight. So this is 13 by 19. This is Neil Adams doing kind of a vintage Captain America piece. I love this piece. This is actually a piece that they were also talking about on one of the Neil Adams sites that are out there. And most people didn't even know that Neil had done this.
Yeah.
So, cool.
And just so you guys know, the black signature is actually printed over the soldier's helmet. Neil signed it in silver at the bottom of the print, which is a little harder to see.
Yeah, well, the silvers and golds are, but it's there. So 13 by 19, it is $100 to buy. This is a cool piece, especially when it's put up in a frame. I've seen this frame. It looks good. And again, because it kind of has that vintage war look, people aren't like, oh, is that just a comic cover? It's very cool. All right. This is a must to have in your living room for sure. It is the Mr. T cover. Mr. T is on a 13 by 19 piece of paper. It is signed by Neil. We did, how many comics do we do, Pete? 2 issues of Mr. T. And I want you to know that
Pity the fool doesn't buy this.
everybody in the Adams or Stone family loves Mr. T. This is probably one of the more fun jobs that we got to work on.
Because he's tough and tender.
Tender duck.
He is the nicest man on the planet. He'll sign photos of himself on the corner for an hour before coming up here. He really loves people. He's really good to his fan base. Really nice guy. Mr. T was very happy to work with him. A good time. So Mr. T is $100 to buy. It is signed by Neil. Everyone should have a Mr. T in their house. I mandate it. I decree it. Okay, next up.
Out of toothpaste.
Next one up is 13 by 19, The Punisher. Now, I think this may be the only time Neil drew The Punisher.
Except for that one commission he did.
Yeah.
But that was a commission. In the
This
world,
is printed.
in the
No,
world
in
of
the
published
world.
pieces,
Yes.
this is the only time Neil's done The Punisher.
I think you're right.
So this is 13 by 19. It was a variant. I don't think it was a variant cover. It was the first issue cover when they
May have
were
been a variant.
redoing Punisher #1. No, I think it was actually
Was the original
the
cover.
cover. Yep.
Might be.
So this is Punisher by Neil. It is signed by Neil. It is $100 to buy. It is on the Cougar paper, which is more like the drawing paper that Neil works on, that continuity. Signed by Neil down there. I like this piece because it almost looks like the actor that plays the Punisher. Okay, next up is Batman. Now we call this one Batman Gray because we have many Batmans in the rain. So this is Batman Gray in the rain.
Yeah, you guys don't understand how many Batman's dad has drawn. And he'll come into the studio and go, "Hey Z, go over to my desk and grab that Batman." And there's like 20 of them. I'm like, "Which one?" He's like, "I don't know, the one where he's in the rain." I'm like, "Okay, the blue one or the gray one? Or the, purple one? Who
What are
knows?"
we doing? What are we doing?
Batman with the moon. Okay, which one?
Okay, that's 100 to buy. I have a Teenage Ninja Turtle profile for 600. Original art. Pen and ink Neil, signed by Neil. And there are not many Ninja Turtles drawn by Neil.
That is Raphael.
Okay. Yeah, where did your stuff go? I have, oops. I'm going to go to Zia Adams Art. So this is Zia's Shazam. This is a sketch cover drawn by Zia.
Mary Marvel. And it is signed by the actress that played Mary Marvel up at the top. And this is original art on a sketch cover.
Right. So the signature is the actress and Zia together. And you're selling this for
$150.
$150. So this is Zia Adams Art. This is her
Voodoo doll.
Voodoo dolls. And she was at a convention where the actress was. And Andrea likes that.
Yeah, the actress actually really loved this piece, so I did her a separate one of her as Mary Marvel.
It's very cute. Like I said, it's an original piece of art that's drawn on a sketch cover, which is really a cover that has the logo and the other stuff on the side, and then artists get to draw on them. Ted Keaton loves it. The price of this is $150. We have a noisy clock when it hits 10 o'clock. Okay, next up is The Walking Dead. This is another sketch cover by Zia. Price on that is
$100.
$100.
And I even included Glenn's button eye hanging off of Lucille. Not that it ever did that.
Andrea likes that you articulated the leg of this model.
Thank you. Well, originally when I first was doing the voodoo dolls, they were not articulated. They were just like rag dolls, which is why the first Superman that I did, he's laying on his side in front of Starfield on the wall, pretending to fly. But I found that there's only so many. There's only so many poses that you can do with the rag doll.
Right. So that is The Walking Dead by Zia. And Benjamin Wyman is here.
Hey, Benjamin.
I needed you earlier when I did auction. Where were you?
Sure.
All right. Next piece up is a Green Lantern profile. This is a really nice one, guys. By Neil, pen and ink with his signature there for $600.
Hold on, because I'm not there.
I like this one because it's kind of done artsy. Really sweet piece. So I think I'm going to do one more piece of art tonight, guys. And if there's anything else you want to see, you can just call it out because we've got later than we normally do. I'm going to do the Thor piece tonight. This is Thor Unfinished Rough Pencil for $1,500.
Thank you, Andrea. Let's Thor. All right, Thor's how much?
Thor is $1,500. So this again is a pencil prelim of Neil's. This will get a certificate of authenticity that will go along with it. Robert Burke is watching. Just came on. So this is $1,500 to buy. Pretty sweet piece of Thor art by Neil. And a little more piece. Because we're hitting 10 o'clock. Actually, I have 2 more pieces. This is a cool piece. I like this piece. There. You can't reach it. I got to reach it, Mom. Okay, Doom versus Dracula. Okay, so this is Neil's kind of prelim, but definitely pencil of a piece that he did as a commission piece of Dr. Doom versus Dracula.
All right, and his price is?
I don't know.
Fix it.
His price is $1,200. And this is interesting because Neil actually did his layout with a Pentel, which that means he knew what he wanted to do and just went down with it. There is some pencil work on the castle and a little bit on faces, but he was pretty determined and knew what he was doing here.
Yeah, it looks like he just barely blocked
out his pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nice piece, lots of action, lots of drama. Good price on this. Ted Keaton says, yes, Chris, this is a cool piece.
And it will come with a certificate of authenticity since it does not have a signature.
Right. And the $1,200 price is a really good price. So this is a piece that I will suspect will go quickly. Yep. Great price. Exactly. So nice piece. Dr. Doom, Dracula, fighting, sparring. $1,200. And my last piece for tonight is going to be, I'm feeling Superman. So I'm going to do Soup's Black and White Splat. This is a gorgeous Superman. He's 8.5 by 11. You know, Neil is one of my favorite Superman guys. I don't have too many favorite Superman guys. I do respect Kurt Swan. There is something about Kurt Swan's.
His longevity.
It's his longevity, but he also drew
A man.
He
Right.
drew Superman.
Right.
Dad drew a much more kind of youthful, unless he was following right behind.
No, Kurt Swan tended to draw someone who was closing in on 50.
Yeah.
And your father drew him as if you were 28 or 30.
Right. Love the zero drop of zero. Oh, that would be a little hard. But I love the thought, Bill. This is $3,000 to buy. It is 8.5 by 11. It is one of the nicest Superman pieces we have left. It is cool. It can be colored by Zia if you would like to add more color to this. You can leave it the way it is. It is a really nice piece of art. Nice, powerful Superman in action. Good cape going on. Really nice piece. Okay, so since it's 10:05 and it is a school night and Chris has to go to work tomorrow, I am going to pretty
Call it a
much
night.
end our show. So we had a big kind of crazy show. We started with the Ben Casey contract, a real deal life here. We had Peter Stone come join us tonight, which he actually pushed Gene Colan. We didn't even talk about Neil Adams.
We did not.
We talked about Gene Colan tonight, so that was kind of fun. We did have Zia's paintings out tonight. You're gonna have to come this way or that way. So we had. I mean, move your Joker. It's okay. So
Yeah, he's at an angle, but it's all right.
These are original paintings by Zia of her voodoo doll, and that's who's that?
Delirium.
Delirium, and Delirium is 1,000 to buy. It is hand painted by Zia, and then she tells a story about Joker and working with Neil as she was painting that. At a point where our dad was really not doing very well at all. So this was definitely a moment for Zia and Neil. And Neil really loved your mouth on this one.
Yeah.
Really loved it. Apparently Planet Comic-Con Kansas City is coming up March 8th through 10th. Thank you, Kelly West, for bringing that up. We do support the conventions around us. And Jason is going, we also did a statue by Jason Adams tonight. The, what's it called? Going Ape, which was, I'm going to put that out front because it's easy to put out front here. We had this tonight. So we kind of did a lot of different things tonight besides art and prints and stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed our first Weird Wednesday. I know Pete's got some cool stuff that he's going to bring out. And if there's anybody that needs to see something, say it now. Otherwise, I'm going to close this out for the evening. And did you guys enjoy tonight? Was tonight cool, or should I just go back to my normalcy? Nobody's talking.
It would be great if we could all make it. We're at Kansas City, Missouri.
Where is Kansas City? I guess it's Missouri.
Missouri.
Ted Keaton said, "Great Weird Wednesday. Have a great night, guys." Greg Harper said, "Great show." Michael Kirby says, "Great show." Said, "Do I bring Pete back or do I leave him home?" Kelly Russ says, "Great tonight." Andrea said, "Awesome show. Great show. Friday is payday, so I'll be more vocal." I understand that. Ford said, "Good night tonight." So does Pete come back or do we just leave him?
Do we have a repeat?
Kansas City, Missouri
Pete and repeat.
is in Missouri. Are you going to Missouri, Zia?
Where
is Missouri?
I don't know. Line me up with a couple of commissions that I'll turn up.
Is Missouri in the middle of the country? I don't even know where Missouri
Yes, it kind
is.
of is.
That's what I thought. I need a map.
We have a globe.
You got one vote. Yes, keep
It's
Pete.
growing.
Happy Tower said, "I love a repeat." All right, guys, I am going to say good night. Thanks for coming. Thanks for buying. Make sure to direct message us if you bought stuff tonight. And we will see you Friday night with our more normal night. And you guys will miss Pete on Friday. Or maybe Pete will like this. Maybe Pete will come join us. Maybe. Pete's stories are always great. Great insight. Hack a revolver and a banjo. Okay. I'm gonna say goodnight, not you. That's Sam being Sam.
That's Sam. Sam. Between now and Friday, let's learn how to say nice things.
And we're all gonna say goodnight now because it's our bedtime.
Night.
Night, everybody. Take care.
Good
See you
night.
Friday night.
Bye.
Bye bye.